The Crimson Hounds of House Hasting return, lads, as we undertake a new and potentially dangerous task. The near-extinct House of the Blackfires have now become part of our territories and lands. The final living member of that once noble and traitorous house indeed now reside within our de jure territories and serve as one of our powerful knights. We have begun a very dangerous game of resurrecting ancient bloodlines indeed, as the strength of House Targaryen wanes, and so too shall rise the blood of the Blackfires. Now, do we raise this man up in the intention of having or aiding him overthrow the Iron Throne? Probably not. But seeing as House Hasting has for itself a dragon egg and an ancient Valyrian steel weapon from the ruins of that once ancient and proud and powerful place, it seems only befitting that we somehow, some way along the bloodlines, introduce the blood of the dragon into our noble veins indeed, lads. Now, while there is a royal match between the cousin of the late Queen, what was her name? The Targaryen princess that died, or queen that died recently. Anyway, so she died recently, but her cousin is now betrothed in a matrilineal marriage to one of our noble daughters. And so too soon shall the offspring of the Black Dragon of House Blackfire be wed into the house and into the noble veins of House Hasting. Anyway, lads, we are trying to introduce new blood into our bloodlines and everything in order to strengthen the many branches of the Hounds of Hasting. Now, come riches or rebellion, one thing remains certain, lads: the Hounds of Hasting shall charge forth in loyalty and crimson courage. Indeed, lads, it is grand to be back. Now, many of you have stated your concerns for our daughter Hollis being a tool of fate. She is unfortunately being overlooked in a lot of areas, and I tend to agree. I'm actually a little sad about it, considering she is such a badass and she's just done so well for herself. But I don't want y'all to fear. I think the goal is to get her landed in Specklekeep, even if she herself cannot be the lady of that house or the lord of those lands. Her bloodline shall certainly take over in her stead once her husband passes. So, unfortunately, we will end up granting, I think, Speckleplum and Specklekeep to the hands of Sir Royce Chambers, making our daughter the tool of fate, a lady through marriage over the lands of Speckleplum. We will also rename those lands. Y'all have some very interesting suggestions that I plan on utilizing for that, so don't worry. We will definitely have some better names for these lands going forward. I do think I'm going to stick with Hasting. I think Hasting is pretty cool. And Houndwood. I'm kind of into that. And Kennelkeep. You guys really did not like that I named our our duchy castle, our capital, after dog kennels. But again, it's supposed to be like an irony, you know, to the outside world. You hear the name of Kennelkeep and you think, damn, the hounds really stay in the kennels, don't they? But then when they're invited, due to our unwavering loyalty and our notorious hospitality, they enter into the Kennelkeep and find it lavish and flourished and just overall, you know, very, very well taken care of and inviting and hospitable, with a warmth that you won't really see in many other courts, honestly. So it's meant to be a bit ironic, and I think that's exactly something that the good Lord Dalton of Hasting would do. He does have that loyal trait. He does have that poetic mind, after all. I think it would just be really, really interesting. I'm also realizing throughout our entire adventure so far, we did not once go to Old Town to get a better education trait. I think it might be a bit late for Lord Dalton. He's still in his 50s for now, so I don't think it's too late, but I also just don't think he would really benefit from that. It would end up taking too much time and cause him too much stress, and he might actually keel over before he gets to benefit from it, so I don't really see that being the smart choice. But anyway, when our son and heir, Sir Hendry of House Hasting, takes over the lordship of Hasting, yeah, he's more of the martialistic type of guy. So I'm thinking it would be in his best interest to start conquering our neighbors. And not so much conquering in the mindset of like, you know, you have something that I want, so I'm going to take it, and in a malicious sense. But more so like, you know, he admires the legacy of Lord Dalton the Good as the grand architect that he is for everything that he's built, everything that he continues to build, etc., etc. And so when he looks out at his country of the Riverlands and sees that, you know, Harrenhal is still a wasted ruin, and he sees that Old Stones, where's Old Stones at? Yeah, that Old Stones is still a wasted ruin. It brings him sadness. It brings him to tears. So it's probably something that he's gonna look to and be like, no, I will go out, take these lands, and when they belong to the Crimson Hounds of House Hasting, then we shall rebuild them in the name of my father, Lord Dalton. So I feel like that's definitely in our best interest. Maybe one day we'll even damn, the Blackwoods are marching north against Chief Duster the Architect of Mundpress. Oh my god. What happened? A Liberty War. Clan Realm. That's interesting. So what happened? Did Wildlings take over Mundpress? Oh my great heavens. It's a whole Liberty War, and everybody's against them. But it's being led by the tribe of Mundpress. Yeah, he's a Wildling. He's from the Fangs. That's interesting. So Wildlings came south, took over Mundpress, and then rallied the rest of the Barrowlanders against House Dustin in the north. That is interesting. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But anyway, eventually one day, hopefully, our path will lead north to Moat Cailin, and we can rebuild these grand and mighty lands as well. In which case, if all of these lands end up becoming under our de jure territory, our kingdom title, which castle do you think would be the best realm capital? Moat Cailin or Harrenhal? Or Old Stones? I actually don't know much about Old Stones, so I don't know what that's going to look like when it's completed. But we shall certainly see, lads. Anyway, for now, we're going to continue to build ourselves up. I don't think that Lord Dalton is going to grant any of his lands to his kin for now. Only because he intends on utilizing all of their incomes and taxes to pad the treasury and build up the realm as best as he can before he dies, so that he has that lasting legacy to leave for his son, so that when his son takes over, even though his stewardship is not the greatest, he can in fact start to hand out those lands to his family members. I think the goal will be to get Hollis landed in Speckleplum, and then perhaps our uncle, yeah, Sir Damon Hasting, landed in either like Brandstone, or I think we're going to keep Gaines. I think if we keep Gaines and then Kennel Keep as our two, or Crimson Keep and Kennel Keep as our two, I think that'll be fine. And then maybe even Houndstooth if we could keep that one. The Rivulets is still under the lordship of Lord Horace, and his son Lyman Hasting, who's a fucking genius. That's amazing. Who's his guardian? Oh, his father. Okay, I mean, that's fine. I don't mind that. Yeah, the fact that he has a genius trait is badass. At 2 years old, he already has 6, 5, 7, 7, 7. Right? That's pretty kick-ass, dude. Anyway, but yeah, that's the plan for now. Let us go ahead and press play. Actually, we should go about getting shit built. So I'm thinking in the Rivulets, if we could build like, yeah, wetland farms, give us 0.18 per month, plus 4%. We can't use any of these because these are not earthworks. A little more than a ditch or dry moat. Yeah, we should build some defensive as well, or defenses. So the garrison plus 75 for the earthworks here in the Rivulets. That way our son's lands are being protected. We don't have that much gold, so we need to be smart about what we're building here. Yeah, so in Kennel Keep, Dry Moat, and the mansions. Yeah, we could get farms and fields. That'll give us plus 2.5. The regimental grounds is not too terrible of an idea. We can also get the water mills. Can I have both of them activated at the same time? The windmills and the water mills? Because that's huge money right there. Workshops, trade port, apiaries. Yeah, so there's a lot of options that we could build. So I'm thinking our best bet, if we want to maximize our taxes out of this county, go for the water mills, because that'll give us 0.35, and then the boost to our building, or our construction. And then we could go for, the next highest after that would be farms and fields. So that's 1, 2, and then our last one, I'm thinking the apiaries. That's another 0.25. Yeah. And then reduce cost for hosting a feast in this holding, which would be interesting, because we can hold a feast before we die, and try and get some more political favor for our house and everything like that. So, options are being made here, lads, or moves are being made for the benefit of our household. Outposts. It's not terrible, not a terrible idea. Forestry, 0.18. Militia camps. Stables. We can't build that one. The trade port would be our best bet. Workshops as well. We could build the water mills because it is technically the county capital. Yeah. So we would be able to build the water wheels. So if we save up another 34, we could build the water mills in Speckle Keep. And that'll also give us some more taxes. So also, you guys made some very interesting points when it came to how we named our Valyrian Steel Sword. We named it originally Crimson Bite, but because the sword itself has no crimson on it or no red associated with the actual aesthetic of the blade, beyond just our personal symbolism from our house, you guys made some really interesting points there, and I kind of appreciated that as well. I think that was very, very real. So one of the best naming options for this sword, I think, was Howling. I think it's just a really strong, like, 2-syllable word, so it really just, like, cuts deep, but it invokes this sense of, like, dread and fear. But also, like, when dogs or wolves howl, they typically howl together, so it's a sense of, like, you know, togetherness and family, and you know, pack mentality, as well as this omen of, like, coming war and death and everything like that. So it kind of has, like, that double entendre meaning as well. So a howl to a hound is a sense of family and reinforcement and pack, basically, whereas howling to an enemy means, like, you've angered the pack, you've angered the hound, you've angered the wolves, and now comes the bite. You know what I'm saying? So I think Howling is a really interesting name. The original name idea was called The Howling, but I think just calling it Howling, like the blade Howling, is just visceral and evocative. So very, very interesting indeed, you guys. So thank you guys for all your suggestions. Y'all keep it up in the comments section. I think you guys are a bunch of badasses, so just keep on keeping on my Hounds of Hasting, lads. Okay, so as of right now, Dalton Hasting, Dalton the second, technically he would be, it's about to gain the Zealous trait, which I think is interesting, but considering we're the outsider faith here, I don't think that's going to serve him best. I think, if anything, we can make him ambitious and kind of hope for the best there, because that's also going to give him a boost to his stewardship and +1 to everything else as well. So right, we'll take the stress and make him ambitious. Now he's a fearless empath. I love that. Good for him. A new project. My advisors have brought news of a possible development project here in Houndwood. Unfortunately, it's too ambitious to leave to overseers, yet also too small to be worth my own oversight or that of my counselors. The idea has been raised, however, that Hendry might be perfectly suited to oversee it. It would give him the chance to interact with the locals outside of the castle, as well as some invaluable experience. I worry, however, is it too much responsibility to place on his shoulders? What if he bungles the task? Well, he's a 30-year-old man and a skilled tactician. His stewardship isn't the best. Oh, it's literally 50-50. Either way, we're going to lose some gold on this project. Not worth the risk. Let's weigh the risk, right? So development growth plus 20%. Popular opinion plus 40. Development project is a failure. Or 12% that it's a disaster. Hendry's air training regresses significantly. Disastrous development. That's only 12%. 37% that nothing happens, but literally a coin toss as to whether or not it will be successful. Development and popular opinion are things that we can grow over time. So I'm not too terribly worried about losing that. But I think we should push our son to be successful in this. As of right now, he's 72% towards the next level of being a prepared heir. So if we push him towards this, yeah, significantly, yeah, his training progresses significantly. I'll take the coin toss. Oh, it's a huge success. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. He's now at 92% towards the next level. Anyway, mental break, dark thoughts. Guilt and shame have been plaguing me as of late. All of my sins, my flaws, my failings. These dark thoughts distract me from my responsibilities and keep me awake at night. I feel like I must do something to put an end to this mental anguish, but what could possibly help? We gain flagellant, gain improvidence. Yeah, it gives far more money away. No, I must remain strong. I must remain strong. It's an unfortunate, you know, thing there, to be sure. Lord Horace has had another child, Hara Hasting. Lyman Hasting is currently unwed. Dalton Hasting. Oh no, he's ill. Oh, Dalton, no. That's awful. Yeah, we have a lot of children here. Donald Hasting, Eleanor, Hara. Hara also has the genius trait. That's amazing. Lyman Hasting. Eldorea Blackwood. Yeah, they won't accept a matrilineal marriage. She's homely anyway, so get the hell out of here. Yeah, my children. There's so many grandchildren now too that we have to keep an eye out for. My main concern right now is actually Dalton, just because he's second in line for my throne, technically, or my titles, I suppose. Nice. Golden Child, Dalton Hasting. He gave us he gave us 45 gold that he found. What a good kid. Ooh, each living child gives you 1 random skill point and a max of 5. That's pretty sick. Alright, Speckle Keep can now have the watermills built within the duchy, so. Or the county, sorry, not the duchy. Let's see about Lyman Hasting to get that genius trait passed on to somebody. There's a 14-year-old Tessa Tully. Lyman is currently 3, so maybe not. A 7-year-old and a 14-year-old, huh? So maybe we can pass off some of our children. So like Dalton himself, or even Bastion Hasting. Yeah, Bennett. Oh man, Bennett is sadistic but patient. So maybe Bastion to Tessa. That's all right. We'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. My friend Walter died of Cowstown. Darn, we gained some stress on that. Lord Joseph's grand wedding in Seagard. To the implicable Dalton, I am delighted to invite you to celebrate the marriage of Allery Footley and I in Seagard. She's a 16-year-old girl, and you're 53, my good man. As much as I don't hate you, and I would love for us to be on each other's side. As a matter of fact, I see you have... Oh, well, he's an acolyte, so that doesn't really count, does it? Yeah, I like the Malisters. I think the Malisters are cool. Marissa Tully. Interesting. Okay. Clear both of them. There we go. There's some Malister boys out here that Hawthorne, Jeremy, and Preston Malister. Alright, so 4-year-old Preston, 11-year-old Jeremy, and 11-year-old Hawthorne. So, the only reason I care about making sure the ages match up is so that they don't have to wait too long to be wed, for the sake of ensuring the bloodlines move fast. You know what I'm saying? So far, all I have is Elena, Bethany, Hara, yeah, and Eleanor, who could be wed. So Bethany, Hasting. Okay, I need a... Let's gift him an artifact. Gains 10 opinion. Fuck yeah, there we go. So now we can arrange that marriage. Yeah, Bethany Hasting and Jeremy Mallister, matrilineally, be born of House Hasting. I'll also join the grand wedding. So, let's get a caravan master, Alana Korn, and perhaps some mercenary guards. Okay, Bastion Hasting is going to get just as a trait. The next oldest would be Eleanor Hasting at 4 years old. To Hawthor Mallister. Yeah, he won't accept that one. Is reluctant unless it creates or reinforces an alliance. Sir Jordan Mallister. He's a lunatic though. Ugh. And the Corgiles. So we could potentially get both of their children, both of their sons, to marry into our family matrilineally. Which does nothing for them, does nothing for him, but it does everything for me by making sure my children get wed off to noble bloodlines. Which is pretty interesting. I'll take it. I like the Mallisters anyway, so it is what it is. Marrying for love? Question mark. Dalton is still young, but aware that he's already old enough for a betrothal to be just around the corner. If I marry, I want to marry for love, he boldly declared at the dinner table one evening. Grandfather, you wouldn't force me to marry someone against my wishes, would you? It's becoming increasingly evident that my grandson isn't terribly interested in chasing after girls. Perhaps this sudden interest in independence stems from that. The question is whether this should be encouraged. It is the responsibility for members of our dynasty to marry and have children, after all. Though, perhaps that can wait. Dalton is still very young, and it seems very intent on having his way on the matter. Gains the trait refusing marriage. Forming a rivalry. I didn't even realize, but he's homosexual. That's interesting. He is the second in line for our titles and lands. So, gains the trait refusing marriage. Oy. His marriage can wait for a time. Yeah, may not marry. House opinion -5. Alright. Oh, Aegon Targaryen and Moria Hasting have had a child. My great-granddaughter, Deanne Hasting. Deanne, let's give her a good... Let's give her like a Targaryen name. Eh? There we go. Rael. Rael Hasting. Named after Aegon's mother. Perhaps we can arrange an introduction. Even if... I wonder how that's going to work if he has... you know, refusing marriage as a trait. I mean, he's a 12-year-old. I don't want to introduce him to anybody too old. I think our best bet would be Jania Buckwell for now. But even then, like... Who are the Buckwells, you know? Like, who even are they? I know who they are. Like, I'm being a dick. But, I'm thinking Tessa Tully might also be an interesting... Yeah. An interesting move there. So let's send the proposal. Let's get them introduced and see how that turns out for him. Yeah, Dalton at least is cautiously pleased when I present the news of his potential future wife. You're bringing her all the way here, he asked. I hear she's the lady of the Trident's cousin. Then he paused, considering. And if I decide I don't want to marry her after all, do I get to say? We shall see, I said, and that was enough to satisfy Dalton, at least for the moment. Yeah, this will be interesting. I like the concept of being able to do these introductions. So, I'm actually quite excited, to be honest. I feel bad for my grandson, because this is starting to look a lot like the Legacy of the Bastard Lion, when Sir Victor Embermane's son was a homosexual, and we set him up in a grand marriage or grand wedding with one of the Lannister girls. And what's crazy is, like, they still had a long, loving relationship, you know, in marriage. And despite his personal sexual preferences, he still managed to do his duty and honor his wife and everything like that, even at the cost of his own like mental well-being and everything. So a really cool, interesting story of like personal triumph and personal will. So this is starting to look a little bit like that, but again, because he has the refusing marriage trait, I don't know how that's going to look at the end of this interaction. So we'll see. Tessa finally arrived in the Kennel Keep early in the day and was quickly greeted in the castle courtyard by none other than Dalton himself. Fortunately, he still seems pleased by the idea of the visit and what it potentially represents, and their initial exchanges as he bade her welcome did nothing to dispel that. Meanwhile, Tessa was cordial and well-mannered. If anything, she was eager to get things underway. Nice. Yeah, let's see how it goes. The next day. When the morning arrives, Tessa presents herself in the throne room, primped and preened and ready to spend the day with Dalton. She appears nervous, which is understandable considering the eyes of the entire court are on her. As for Dalton, he is far less guarded about his opinion. He has been beaming brightly at Tessa from the moment she appeared, clearly eager to get the day started. Yeah, they're going to tour the castle grounds. Yeah, the introduction is about to begin. Yeah, this one is not looking too good. 60% Dalton is charmed by Tessa, but only 53% of the opposite of the mirror. So we'll see what happens. Oh, a disastrous match. Oh no. The day that Dalton and Tessa spent in each other's company turned out to be a disaster. According to those who kept watch, Dalton seemed eager enough at first. They toured the castle and the surrounding lands, Dalton explaining the history of everything to her with great interest and detail. Too much, perhaps. Such was his eagerness. She, however, clearly did not feel the same. I'm told she sometimes appeared bored, at others resentful. This did not improve as the day wore on. By the time the sun set, it was already clear this was no match. That's unfortunate. I think it was worth the try. Oh, Lady Gara, no, my wife. She's dying. Her health is ailing. That is not good. Yeah, that's tough. My poor boy. Yeah, my poor grandson. Oh, it'll be okay. I think he'll be fine. We'll just have to continue to push him. Yeah, he'll make a fine commander one day. At the very least, he's getting some solid training done under both his caretaker being ourselves, and then of course his knight being, I think, his father's uncle. Yeah, his granduncle, great uncle, something like that. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So we can't yeah, I think we have to wait a year before we can arrange another introduction, which is fine. Hopefully we can find a suitable match for him. To the charming Dalton, I would like for your courtier, Noel Revere, to become the squire of Denmarsh, sorry. He's a trained fighter. He is a knight. He's not the best, but that's fine. I don't care. Who is Noel Revere anyway? A nobody? Fine. I'm just kidding. That was kind of harsh. My bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, Argoth Hasting, or Lord Horace Hasting, being a powerful vassal. Lord Robert's hunts in Atranta. No, thank you. I'm wary of all the hunts we've done in our lives. Lawrence Hasting, now. He's got a learning focus. Let's change that to stewardship, because being learned is for weaklings. Let's get him educated by perhaps his uncle. Somebody with high stewardship. Let's see. Jack McMott. That's fine. Excellent. That's the only downside to having such massive families, is that we end up Master Barrack. For why? Oh, his stewardship dropped. What the hell? Oh, he's infirm. Oh, great heavens. Alright. The sum of all skills, Jack McMott. Let's set him up to the task. Oh, what the hell? My steward. Disfigured, scarred. Why is his stewardship so low? What happened? How did you become my steward? What the hell is that? Jack Mc... You're hired. Yeah, look at that. 36% increase to our domain taxes. That's amazing. Alright, I'm going to replace my son with Sir Gaiman. Blackfire. And then my Castellan. Sum of all skills. Lord Horace of Hasting. Yeah, which means you're fired, my friend. Yeah, my castellan is now Lord Horace of Hasting. My brother is Sir Damon of Hasting, who's still my master-at-arms, which is good. Oh, look at that. And his spouse is now with child, which is grand. Good things are happening within our lands and with our family. Meanwhile, the Freys, yeah. So Lord Andahar Frey, his heir is Walder Frey, who's uncouth. That's unfortunate, but he does have the, the Hasting blood in him. The blood of the Crimson Hound, indeed, lads. Oy, quite interesting. Yeah, Sir Argith and Sorel Rain have had another child, Garibold Hasting. I think Garibold's not a bad name. We have Lawrence, Elena, and then I'm thinking maybe Forley Hasting. It's not the worst name I've heard before, but I'd rather have like a good Westerlander name. Richard Hasting is cool. Reginald, Robert, Victor Hasting, John Hasting, Tyrion Hasting. There we go. A good strong Westerlander name for from the reigns of Castamere. Uh-oh. The Vale of Arryn is marching out. For what reason? Defending against... I see. House Revere. Ooh. Ooh, some things are happening. Alright. Betrothal fulfilled. My maester has died. One of my counselors is gone. Alright, family feast, reconciliation. Tonight's gathering in the Kennel Keep Great Hall was a relatively quiet affair. No outbursts, no drama, just my family enjoying a moment of relative peace. More surprisingly, perhaps, I spotted Argeth and Hendry actually talking. Both were well into their cups, it's true, but when I heard my son laugh at one of his brother's jokes, I started to wonder if there wasn't a chance their rivalry could finally be put to bed. Perhaps with some assistance. Yeah, Sir Argoth and Sir Hendry. 68%, I'm successful, but they can work it out on their own. Hopefully they finally make amends. There is no real reconciliation. That's not good. Yeah, with no family to speak of. She has 4 living members of House Wentz. That is not good. Which means it would be a perfect opportunity for us to conquer southward into Harrenhal and take those lands. The issue is, I was trying to stay away from having to hop over this, the river like that. Only because there's no crossing except by, I think, over in this area. Yeah. Not even. I think we have to go all the way around, actually, through River Run. Which means there's going to be that degree of separation. Which makes me think, what if we kept Hasting, right, independent from the other territories that we take? So if it is our goal, eventually, to rebuild Harrenhal, and to rebuild Old Stones, and to rebuild Moat Cailin, would it not be more interesting then for us to split off different branches of our house? So say like Sir Damon's household, while they become lords over here or whatever, one of their branches splits off, becomes an adventurer, conquers south into Harrenhal and takes those lands, and then starts rebuilding Harrenhal independently from the Lordship of Hasting. Because then we could have like a Crimson Hound, a Black Hound, you know, I don't know, a Brown Hound or a Blue Hound, something like that, and then a White Hound up here in Moat Cailin. Would that not be quite interesting? Why is Moat Cailin the capital and not Winterfell? What is happening there? Lord Brandon Castle. What the fuck is happening? Huh? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so Winterfell. Yeah, Winterfell is... the county holder is Lord Brandon. What the fuck? Wolf Branch has taken What the fuck is happening? Are they even rebuilding this? They're not even rebuilding it right now. Why is Lord Eadwile hanging out in a ruined castle of Moat Cailin? What is going on in the north right now, dude? This is diabolical. But yeah, I think that would be a pretty interesting concept. Yeah, I'm more important people to impress. But yeah, I think that would be probably our best bet. That way we're not separating too much, because I don't really care about conquering the whole of the Riverlands. I don't really give a rat's ass about the Iron Throne, or Casterly Rock for that matter. The goal isn't to take castles that are already built. Our goal is to build up castles into greatness, even if that means rebuilding ancient ruins. So considering that King's Landing is in fact not a ruin, but already built up, and it has its own prestige, anointed to a name of its own, basically, or a builder of its own. Kennel Keep is built by us. Crimson Keep is built by us. The Rivulets built by us. Those have our name and our stamp and our legacy attached to them. So splitting off our house, sending the pack into all directions, to then rebuild and place our name on old stones, and then rebuild and place our name on Harrenhal, and then to rebuild and place our name on Moat Cailin. I think that would make for the most interesting story, and probably the most difficult and dynamic playthrough style as well. But it's just a suggestion. Y'all leave your comments in the or your suggestions in the comments below, and maybe that'll be something you're interested in seeing, or maybe y'all just want us to actually play tall here in our little Duchy of Hasting, maybe even expanding into like Fair Market just to take that one, or something like that. But excuse me, y'all just let me know in the comment section below. I think it would be quite interesting indeed, because consider this: what happens if we decide to take, I always lose it, where the fuck did it go? There it is. I'm not dumb, I'm just blind, right? So imagine if we decide to take Old Stones, and then this just kind of becomes its own split of land here. No big deal, right? It kind of just does whatever it wants. We just live as a singular county with like fully developed lands all around in Hammerford. But then consider we send somebody out and we conquer all of these minor counties as well, from Burnout to Starsban, and all of this becomes another duchy under the banner of the Hound of Hasting. And then consider we send another one up here to like Green Lily and Wernal and Stonyhead, and all of these minor counties also get conquered under a new Hound of the Pack of Hasting. You know what I'm saying? So there are definitely options. There's definitely moves that we can make. I think that would also be really interesting. So imagine by the end of this playthrough, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Hammerford being independent, and then Moat Cailin even being independent, as, you know, our territories, our family's territories, right? And then consider if we take Moat Cailin, we could also take the Neck and the Finger and create an independent kingdom out of this, and just like ally ourselves with family members of these minor counties and everything like that, and independent duchies. So really interesting concepts. Definitely lots of potential for this playthrough. I'm actually really excited the more I talk about it. Anyway, I have tangent talked entirely too long. I'm so sorry. Let's get back into the actual fucking gameplay. That'd be great. Traveling abroad, Hendry came to me this morning with a rather interesting plan. Father, I know you do your best to train me as your heir, but not all of my education can be found here at Kennel Keep. I was thinking perhaps I might visit Lady Inferior for a time. Noticing my reluctance, he quickly continued. She is quite skilled in the art of intrigue after all, and also your ally. Spending a few months with her in the Trident could teach me a great deal. It's possible Hendry has ulterior motives and simply wishes to finally get out of the castle, but who could blame him? Yeah, we would gain stress and he becomes disappointed in us. He's at 96%. If we give him leave, Hendry will journey to Riverrun and stay with Lady Inferior for up to 6 months, where he may receive some benefit to his training as your heir. Yeah, we'll give him leave to go. He's already had 3 children with his wife, Rosie Bracken. So at least the Bracken bloodline is secured as well. We can arrange another introduction. Fickle, authoritative, just, and vengeful. House Sillinger. The peaceful mind knows faith. I don't think that's a bad... I don't think that's a bad idea, actually. I kind of like them. She's got good traits, too. I like that she has authoritative and just. I think that's a pretty powerful pairing right there. I want to try this, even if it doesn't work out in our favor. Because then we can look abroad for other potential matches. So, like, even back into the Westerlands or even into the Vale, the Stormlands, etc., etc. Even into the north. Get some powerful northern blood into the, you know, the blood of the Hound. Yeah, I don't know why I'm stuttering so much. Sorry, guys. Let's send that proposal, and hopefully we can get a spouse for our child. Yeah, cautiously pleased. You're bringing her all the way here. I hear she's just the sort of woman I'd pick for a wife. Really? That's good to hear. That is good to hear, buddy. Yeah. Then he paused, considering, and if I decide I don't want to marry her after all, do I get to say? Yeah, of course. Of course, my boy, of course. His education is at an end. Even as a child, Bastian has always had a way with words. It is therefore unsurprising that he has taken well to the study of diplomatic relations. Good for him. He gained charismatic negotiator and skilled fighter. Good for you, buddy. My grandson is now knighted. Dalton Hastings is now a full-blown knight in his own rights. Yeah, good for you, lad. Proud of him. Eleanor Hastings needs a, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Allied to Lord Joseph through Preston Mallister. Right now she's rowdy, getting an education in martial, so my brother, her great uncle, will educate her then. Ah, a grand tournament in Kraken Rock. Lord Quellen the White Kraken, House Greyjoy. That's interesting. The arrival. No, I would, but I don't think we can. Hopefully some of my knights go and they qualify for the tournament and stuff like that. That'd be pretty interesting. But I have important matters here as well. Fortunately, he still seemed pleased. Yeah, meanwhile, Jarrell was cordial and well-mannered. Yeah, just more of the same. Spoiling dinner. Oh no. After Jarrell and her retainers were put up for the night, I held a small dinner in the Great Hall. A chance, I thought, for Dalton and the maiden to speak before the formal introduction tomorrow. It did not go well. Jarrell seemed to do her best to engage in conversation, but she was awkward and clearly uncomfortable. Perhaps she was simply out of her element or exhausted by the voyage. Either way, it was a painful meal, and the clear relief on the maiden's face when Dalton excused himself did not help matters much. Yeah, that could have gone better. The next day. Yeah, she appears nervous, far less guarded. He has been scowling at Jarrell from the moment she appeared and hasn't let up. Yikes. They're going to spend the day in the gardens. Okay, a fine beginning. The day that Dalton and Jarrell spent in each other's company turned out to be a successful one. They walked around the castle gardens, a peaceful and beautiful setting for them to finally talk. Jarrell appeared to enjoy the garden well enough, and they chatted amiably. Despite all the watchful eyes charting their every move, they seemed at ease, and the day appeared to be a success. As the sun began to wane, and the couple were called back to the castle for dinner, Dalton privately confessed as much. "This is the woman I want to marry," he said. "It is clear that Jarrell feels the same. The question then is their betrothal still what I want?" Yeah, proceed with the betrothal. We'll see what happens. It seemed to go well, but I'm still nervous for my boy. My grandson. He no longer has refusing marriage, so at least there's that. They seem to, at the very least, enjoy each other's company. But she is 16, she is of marrying age, and Dalton is 2 years off from that marriage, so hopefully this turns out well enough in our favor. I would like for your courtier Humphrey Brusted to become the squire of Williman Piper. Sure. Go for it. Preparations for the hunt. Yeah, I'm gonna get a pet dog. What the fuck? I changed clothes. What the hell? Lord Dalton the Good. As I pet the dog on the head, she happily wags her tail. There we go. So she has white fur. So I named her Wintress, like winter, but also like Empress. So it's like Wintress. I don't know. It's not perfect, but I like it. I think it's a cute little name for a little doggy. Family feast, friendship. Tonight's family feast in the Great Hall at Kennel Keep went rather well. My wife amiably chatted with my counselors. Then I noticed that my nephew Bastian appeared to be getting along famously with my ally Aegon. They were clapping each other on the back, laughing and telling tales. I believe I may be witnessing the beginning of a true friendship. Yeah, Aegon Targaryen and Sir Bastian Hasting. Nice. Is that... Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Is the lad not knighted? Can we get him knighted? We can get him educated as a squire. That's cool. He's now my squire. Wonderful. Let's pause this up real quick. Let's get him trained. Yeah, in swordsmanship. Donald Hastings to become the squire of Roramund Fernley. Ooh, hell yeah, dude. His traits aren't the best, but he's a brilliant strategist. So Roramund. I accept. Nice. Yeah, squire training. Aegon and I... Yeah, okay. It was an excellent training session. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why I randomly just changed clothes. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But cool. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I think it looks good. Arrange introduction to the implacable Dalton. I invite your nephew, Bastian Hastings, to come here to Vianen in order to meet my granddaughter, Orissa Vianen. The possessed, club-footed, flamboyant trickster? I think not. I'm afraid I must decline, good lord of Vianen. So we're gonna wed Lawrence Hastings to Kella Arryn, who's the daughter of Sir Vardis and Lady Mary Baratheon. That's interesting. That's an interesting matchup. Not mad at that. They will accept, so we'll take it. Getting more loyal noble bloodlines in here. Though I'm also starting to realize I have been horrendously neglecting getting my children married for matrilineal, or for like congenital traits. So that is entirely my fault. Let's try just leaving the inheritable traits tag on from now on, and we'll make that one of our priorities when it comes to making marriage alliances. That being said, certain children do not have spouses. Oh, Davin, what is happening to you? Gracious Blackguard. Who is your tutor? Oh. Hollis. Hollis. How could you have failed your nephew so horrendously? What on earth has happened? Anyway, I do believe I saw something quite interesting. It looks like Gaiman Blackfire has had a child, Alex Blackfire. Yeah, not bad. There we go. So if we wed Alex to Elena Dondarrion, they could get robust and comely. Yeah. I think that might be one of our best bets. El Ruttiga as well. House Ruttiga. Y'all remember those guys. They were the inspiration behind our House Vortiger playthrough in Realm of Thrones. So, nice. Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. We'll take it. We'll take that alliance right there. Or that wedding proposition. I love the Stormlanders. I think that's pretty cool. And now, because of us, House Blackfire has come from 1 to 2 living members of their household. So very grateful for that. He does have claims on the town of Coin Horde and the Blackfire Host. It's an Empire title. On his way. I've just heard back from Hendry, and his trip to Riverrun has come to an end. Evidently, while Lady Imperial didn't train Hendry personally, Hendry was shown every hospitality and given a room at the castle, spending almost the entirety of his trip at Lady Imperial's court. From everything Hendry said in the letter, it was overall an excellent and most productive experience. I look forward to his return soon. Progresses a large amount, gains 300 diplomacy lifestyle, 100 martial lifestyle, prowess increased by 2, and gains 300 stewardship lifestyle experience. Dude, that is sick. My boy. Be careful, the lands are currently at war. Very prepared heir. Nice. 2-star prepared heir 84% towards the next 3-star prepared heir. That's amazing. Title creation cost. Forced vassalage. That's pretty interesting. I'm also realizing that for all of the progress we've been making, we have no military. Like, absolutely no military. We have 1 unit of crossbows, but no, like, armored footmen or no armored horsemen. So I think both of those, getting one of those each, and then at least 1 siege weapon is probably going to be our best bet here. And then maybe we can invest in pikemen. But for starters, I think we're going to go ahead and get the armored horsemen, because they counter archers, heavy infantry, and skirmishers. Whereas these guys counter heavy infantry, heavy cav, and elephant cav, which is not bad. The only ones who aren't being countered right now are pikemen, essentially. We would need light footmen. No, because that's light cavalry. Bargemen, also light cav. Yeah. Armored footmen is what counters spearmen and skirmishers. But let's invest in the heavy ones first. Or in the, the most expensive. So, we'll station our horsemen in... Oh, we can do it in Houndstooth. Because that increases their damage by 45. Their toughness by 16. Yeah, that's not terrible. Plus 45. Yeah, we'll do Houndstooth. So we've got the riders of Houndstooth, the crossbows of Crimson Keep. So Crimson crossbows. And then if we get some heavy infantry... Yeah, that's going to be a bit expensive. All in all. Get those in Kennel Keep. Be our best bet. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So Kennel Keep. So Kennel Guard. That's interesting. So now we have like some made up roleplay nicknames for some of our units here. So we've got Crimson Crossbows, the Kennel Guard, and Houndstooth Riders, or Houndstooth Horsemen. Nice. So at least our military's going up as well. Oh no, what the hot ones. Dalton, you literally... yeah, you literally chose this betrothal. Dude, I'm sorry. You kind of made your bed. You have to lie in it, bud. Yeah, melancholic. That's unfortunate. He'll get over it. He literally chose her. He said, this is literally the woman I want to marry, and now he's all upset. Like, it's okay, bud. Ah, no. Dalton has not become proficient as expected in the administration of lands and people. Gained 2-star thrifty clerk. He gained train fighter, yeah, 2 stars, and rough terrain expert. Not the best. Not what I was hoping for second in line to inherit my lands. But my children are now married as well. Or, you know what I mean. Faith of the Blessed. No, that's pacifism. No thanks. We'll just take the stress on the chin and hopefully move forward into more productive means of, I don't know, being alive, I guess. Alright, Elena Hasting. Let's make her more diplomacy focused. Oh, I have high diplomacy. Sure, she could become my ward. Why not? Oh, someone's plotting to kill my daughter, Moria. That's not fucking good. Brilliant strategist, skilled fighter. Arena Thanders, my knight. Lazy and impatient, but authoritative. That's an interesting combination, if I'm being honest. Look at my boys. Yeah, Sir Bastian Hasting. Nice. And then Sir Bennett Hasting. Nice. Arena Thanders has married Sir Bennett Hasting. Meanwhile, Sir Bastian, let's see about getting him wed to somebody worthy of his name and rank. And title, I do say. He's currently 18. Let's find somebody who's near the same age. We have the lustful Darissa Nori, which I'm not quite interested in. I would rather if there were no lowborn individuals here as well. That would be grand. Yeah, just not lowborn, please. That'd be great. Alright. Unfortunately, having the inheritable traits on is kind of holding us back from what we need. So I turned it off temporarily. Hopefully we can find somebody who's a suitable match for my grandson, or my nephew, Sebastian. We have Janara Kitely, which is not bad. Fire hardens the hammer shapes. It's pretty badass. House Brax. Amira Brax. There's also the Serets of the Westerlands. Yeah, all in all, it's not terrible. There are definitely worse households. But she has the quick trait. I'm not mad at this. She's a gracious antagonist, so maybe if we just set up the introduction. Yeah, marrying into House Nori. Yeah, increased chances of getting an intelligence trait. House Nori. No one provokes me with impunity. All right, we'll send the betrothal. Oh, was that just straight up? Oh, an introduction. Okay, good. Bastion at least is pleased. Here she's the sort of woman I'd get on well with. But what if she doesn't like me? Does that mean we won't be married even after she comes all this way? Yeah, we shall see. It'll be alright, kiddo. You'll be alright. Strapping young lad. Oh no, Lady Gara, she's near death. Oh, melancholic and infirm. That's so sad. We are aging like fine wine. My poor wife, my beloved. That's so sad. The arrival. Let's see how it goes. A good impression. After Darissa and her retainers were put away for the night, I held a small dinner. It went better than I'd hoped. I'm uncertain how well Darissa ordinarily behaves on such occasions, but tonight she was clearly in high spirits, laughing and bantering with everyone, at ease even though far from home. She made what could have been a quiet and awkward dinner into a delightful event, and in a way it felt as if she was already part of the family. Excuse me. More to the point, Bastion noticed and approved. Let's hope this momentum carries into tomorrow's introduction. Lovely. The next day. She appears nervous. He is far less guarded. He has been beaming brightly. The court watches. His plan is to demonstrate his skill at swordsmanship, apparently. Yeah, with his 20 prowess and 11 martial. Sure, kiddo. He is a 4-star formidable fighter, so I'll take it. Yeah, let's see how it goes. A disastrous match. Seemed eager enough at first. Bastion brought Darissa down to the castle garrison, where he fought vigorous bouts with his fellow knights. Darissa was clearly impressed, swooning over him after every match. Despite her obvious enjoyment of watching him fight, it was clear he did not feel the same. Damn, that sucks. What a shame, dude. What a shame. And see, what I both love and hate about this playthrough is that I'm very, very concerned with my children and my grandchildren's well-being. So I would love very much for my family to have happy marriage alliances and everything like that, or marriages. Which unfortunately means that, Lawrence. Which unfortunately means that I need them to be happy enough to maintain their happy weddings, I guess. Or I care very much about their happiness and well-being, which means that if they don't like a potential match, even if it is very good for us diplomatically or in an alliance manner, I suppose, it's not going to happen. If my family doesn't like it, we're not going through with it. It's that simple. That is the unfortunate part with doing family-oriented playthroughs in this game. Unfortunate in the sense that it kind of holds us back from min-maxing our playthrough. We could quite literally just marry whoever we want if we really put our minds to it. But I don't think that is a fun way to play. So it's all about the roleplay here, lads. If my children or my grandchildren are not happy with their marriage alliances, I will not force them into one. Oh no, we gained the widowed trait. Ah, till death do us part. How can a heart endure this kind of pain without breaking? It cannot be possible, and yet here I am, my heart beating on whilst yours has gone quiet. Oh Gara, my sweetness, life will not be the same without you. Yeah, your wife, Lady Gara, has died. At least the memories remain. Yeah, we have gained the max level of stress, or 2 out of 3, so not the max. That is so sad. So heartbreaking indeed. Family Feast Serenity. Every now and again, I feel as if our family here in Kennel Keep might be like any other. Tonight was one of those times. My grandson, Davin, was typically humble, addressing each of the servants by name and treating them with great respect. My younger brother, Damon, was, once again, the center of attention, calling for more drinks as he kept everyone laughing. Even my youngest son, Argoth, amiably chatted with my counselors, expressing concern over a recent injustice he witnessed at court. Everyone got along, laughing and even singing. At one point, I stood and made a speech that left my family a little teary-eyed. It was good. Yeah, I love that. Sir Davin Hasting, 16-year-old lad, gracious envoy, neophyte fighter. Yeah. Arbitrary, gluttonous, compassionate, humble. A fine evening indeed. Let's find the lad a spouse. House Kenning. Yeah. Just and diligent. I think those are some decent traits. Let's send that betrothal proposition to House Kenning. The Westerlanders I'm always a fan of, and the Stormlanders as well. The Reach, I don't know about them. We'll see. Yeah, Summerfield. Province of Summerhall, the Royal Retreat, held by King Aegon V of House Targaryen, who is still currently unmarried. Thalia Ironmaker is trying to murder my daughter, Moria Hasting. We're gonna banish her from these realms. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, so she's been sent to Essos, but he remains here in my court. He is my chancellor and my knight. Yeah, and currently is educating one of my children. He could have a lot of squires. What the fuck? He could have 4 squires? That's interesting. Oh, look at my boy, Sir Dalton Hastings. That's crazy. Yeah, he's got his grandfather's beard. That's crazy. Yeah. Good looking lad. I'm sad that he's not happy with his marriage. Yeah, fearless empath and fearless antagonist. That's so unfortunate, dude. Like, I promise you it's not that bad. It's gonna be okay. I feel bad because that's literally the wedding he chose. That's the marriage that he chose. So, it's a bit of a shame. My grandson, Walder, has been knighted. He's a mastermind philosopher. Good for him. Betrothed to Bessa of House Mooten. Yeah, so Walder Frey. With the blood of the Crimson Hound of House Hasting. Quite interesting indeed. Yeah, Wintress the council meeting. Yeah, my dog, my pet dog, will join us in the council meeting. That's fine. Between my daughter Serena Tully and your nephew Bastian Hasting. Lady Serena. Interesting. Okay. See, look at that. That is a noble noble bloodline indeed. Yeah. Lady Infuria, the clueless of House Tully. Lady Infuria just never seems to be able to make up her mind, moving from one thing to another with the conviction of a sardine. That's diabolical. Alright, we're gonna accept that wedding, I think. So now, Lady Serena Tully will be marrying my nephew, Sir Bastian Hasting. Not bad. Yeah, but my alliance with Lord Ardos Greysteel of Old Honor has expired. He seems to have passed. That's so sad. Lady Megan Greysteel of Lord Gerardus the Compassionate. Interesting. Okay. So who takes over Old Honor now? Lord Aemon Greysteel. He's literally 0 years old. At this point, we're just kind of building up our lands. It looks like Brandstone has the lowest amount of taxes that we're getting. The control here is also really, really low, which doesn't help. Speckle Keep is at 100%. Crimson Keep 100. Houndstooth 100. The Rivulets 100. And Kennel Keep is 100. So Brandstone is the only place that we're really struggling at. So I think it'll be in our best interest to increase county control there to make the taxes go up. Because the taxes are so low, or because the control is so low, our taxes are decreased by 66%, which is actually kind of dog shit for those of you who might not know that. Yeah. I would also like to upgrade some of these castle holdings, but for the time being, it does not look like that is going to be the move for us. So that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. We can start to upgrade things a little bit at a time. Let's go to gains and upgrade the ramparts there. Let's build another building in Speckle Plum, which again we will be renaming once we get our daughter landed there. I think we could build the trade port here. I think that's a good move. Houndwood. We could build another item. Oh yeah, the farms and fields, right? So that's another 0.25. And then the last item would be the apiary, which is another 0.25 to our taxes, which is grand indeed. Yeah, so that being said, let's get the farms and fields. And then in Houndstooth, the only thing we can do is upgrade our cattle farms. So that literally took 600 gold, but now one item in every county is being built right now, which is grand. Super, super grand indeed. Now, while I hate to say it, I have been recording for about 2 hours. I will edit this down to make it a little tighter, for sure. But I think we will continue on this episode until the fated day that Lord Dalton the Good of House Hasting finally passes, and his son and heir, Sir Hendry of House Hasting, takes over the lands of Hasting and the capital of Houndwood. As of right now, he's a 2-star, very prepared heir, which gives him +1 to diplomacy and +1 to stewardship, which is not terrible. Yeah, definitely not terrible. So, I suppose we can just continue on. It's okay. Nice. Alright, so it looks like House Went is on the rise. They only have 4 living members, which is not the greatest, if I'm being honest. Alex of House Blackfire. Can I educate the child? I can educate Alex Blackfire himself. That's pretty kick-ass. Yeah. And then his betrothed is Elena of House Dondarian. Strike twice, strike true. I love that. Super cool. They don't have another child, which I guess makes sense because I sent his wife to Essos for trying to murder my daughter. Ain't that some shit? Hendry Damon Hasting is still alive and kicking, though barely. He is now infirm, so even my younger brother is well on his way. So Bennett Hasting is wed to Arena Thanders, which does nothing. So I think even if Damon of Hasting dies, I think we'll still grant Brandstone to Bennett, or Bastion instead of Bennett. Yeah. So Brandstone will go to Bastion. Specklekeep will rename to like Hollis Hill or something like that, and then give to Hollis's husband, so that her children can take over the throne, or take over those lands. And then we can keep Kennel Keep, Crimson Keep, and Houndstooth to ourselves. And that'll also incentivize us to want to expand our borders, or expand our political reach, even if we're not expanding the actual borders of Houndstooth, or of Hasting itself. So imagine then that Hasting just remains its individual duchy title, and then we just branch off with different branches of the same family and take Harrenhal, we take Old Stones, we take all of these minor counties over here, take all these minor counties over here, and then we take Moat Cailin. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think Moat Cailin would probably be our last stretch of it, just because that's going to put us at war against the whole of the north. Whereas if we switch characters to another member of House Hasting and then go off on an adventure, we can conquer all of these minor counties, and then do the same with like Harrenhal. We can either like marry our way into Harrenhal, so like, I don't know, if they happen to have multiple children, yeah, just marry into House Went basically, and then try and overthrow them from within. We'll see how it goes. I would hate to have to conquer all of these lands, but it wouldn't be the worst idea either. So we'll see what happens. So when Lord Dalton the Good of Hastings dies, I think we're going to utilize our advanced cheat menu and grant every member of his household, all 24 living members of House Hastings, the loyalty trait. Because that's kind of the legacy that we've been doing here. Yeah, it's mostly a fame trait. It's not congenital. I think it's something that you can learn throughout your lifestyle. But I think having the loyal trait is what's going to help hold the family together in a way for this family legacy challenge. So, should be interesting. A lesson in Luca. My granddaughter Elena has just finished a lesson held by Jakmak on the management of the treasury. Yeah. With a strong sense of justice. Yeah, she can keep just. I think that's fine. That's a totally fine trait to have. It doesn't really help with her diplomacy education, but it's not a terrible idea either. So, prestige gain, alliance power. Yeah, there's Golden Gate. There's quite a few alliances that could be made on behalf of Lady Elena, but we'll hold off for now. Yeah, there's nothing but grand tournaments going on in Essos. Like, where are all the Westerosi tournaments? Ah, frozen love. It feels like only yesterday that my dear Gara still walked this earth, always dependable, quietly considering and leaving me yearning for her touch. If only I could have had one more day with her. Yeah. We're gonna get refusing marriage. After all, the man himself is 67 years old. Like, I don't see a reason why he needs to remarry anytime soon. So, pretty soon, our son and heir, Hendry, will take over. He has a military education. He's currently 38 as well. He's almost 40 years old. So he's going to come into his title at 40. Oh, look at Sir Davin. Jesus, look at that beard. That is insane. I really hate some of the cosmetics in this game. That's awful. Maybe we'll get him trimmed up, make him look a little bit better. If he's going to have a chin strap or like a goatee, let's give him like a better looking one than the weird forked goatee that he's got. There, we'll give him the chin strap beard. That way it basically is the exact same hairstyle, just trimmed down from the chin. So it's not like the weird forked chin strap. So unnecessary, I feel. Aw, what the hell? Yeah, Lady Lenora is scheming against my granddaughter. So Lenora Rain of Motley Hills. Yeah. She heard that, I guess we tried to murder one of her people. We'll just out her as a murderer. What's going on here? There's, armies moving out. Don't know what's going on there. That's interesting. Yeah, I can't tell. Who are these people? Who are you people? War of Revenge. Lord Lothar of Mudgrave against Lord Stefan the Cruel. Oh, Lord Walter of Tarth is on his way too. Look at that armor. That's actually pretty sick. Yeah, the High Lordship of Tarth. Yikes. Yeah, so Tarth is on its way with 4,500 men. That is unfortunate. Children of my dynasty, my granddaughter Moria has given birth to twins. Since the little ones are part of the Hastings dynasty, they should be blessed with good names. Looks like a boy and a girl. So his... Ooh, okay, so there's an opportunity here. Unfortunately, we already named one of their children after Aegon's mother, Rhaella. So that's not going to work out here. We can name the boy Aegon Hastings. I don't see that being an issue. I think Caleria Hastings is pretty good. Aegon and Caleria Hastings. Yeah, born from Aegon Targaryen and Moria Hastings. I like it. I'm not mad at that. Family feast, a spectacle. Oh, Moria. Always getting into trouble. Things were quiet at tonight's family feast. ... For a time. Then my granddaughter Moria got so drunk she made a complete fool of herself, one drink after another, until she was stumbling all over the Great Hall, shouting at the rest of the family to join in the merriment, despite their awkward stares. She pawed at the servants, fell down several times and finally had to be carried from the hall by several other family members while she screamed at them to release her. What had brought this on, nobody could say, as normally Moria isn't like this. Stress, more than likely. Yeah, whatever the cause, the mood in the Great Hall was severely dampened, though the family will have something to gossip about for months, I'm certain. Yeah, that was something, alright. Ah, she gained the drunkard trait. Moria, no, you're the future of this household, you fool. Foolish child. Ah. This is, in fact, the challenge of the family legacy, I suppose. Someone's trying to kill my maester for whatever fucking reason. Oy. What the hell? Argoth, my own son, is scheming against my maester. Dude, come on, man. My kids are pissing me off right now. Traveling abroad. Alright. So he's gonna go see his uncle, his good uncle, Lord Andaha Frey, at court. He's gonna go visit his sister, basically. That's awesome, because Lady Ala Hasting is his sister. She's also with child. That's interesting. At 44 years old. Good for them. I'm glad. They have 3 children, Janae, Sowalda, and Alara of House Frey. Sure. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're getting some shit built as well, which is grand. I'm no longer the master of the hunt. That's awful. Lord Daffin's grand wedding. Daffin Went is marrying Malaria Merryweather. Good for you guys. But no, I will not be joining. Thanks a ton. Jackmak, please, come on, man. What is happening right now? He is overwhelmed by stress. And he's a lunatic. That's awful. Betrothed can now marry Sir Davin the Starved of House Hasting. That's interesting. Friends and foes across the land know Davin Hasting as the Starved. Yeah, he actually has the gluttonous trait. That is funny. I think it's supposed to be the Starved Hound. There is a decision here to proclaim a dynastic nickname. But if you go to our modifiers, our dynastic nickname, it says this dynasty is semiotically bound to the blank as a symbol of their legitimacy. So for whatever reason, every time we try and get a nickname for Hound, it basically tells us to fuck off in a way, which is unfortunate. So I think this guy's nickname is supposed to be the Starved Hound. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a new nickname and call him the Starved Hound. Not the wet kitty, babe. No. There you go. And for the text, it says gluttonous. I think not, with actually really bad spelling errors. So at least there's that. But he is now Sir Davin the Starved Hound, because for whatever reason, it won't just give us our dynastic nickname. So maybe we're supposed to be known as the Good Hound, but I'm glad that we're not called that. So anyway, at least my son is wed. Or my grandson? Yeah, my grandson. There we go. To Jocasta Kenning. He is the Starved Hound. Nice. So Bennett Hasting and Arena Thanders have had a child. Damon Hasting after Bennett Hastings' father. I love that. Family feast joy. The mood was light at tonight's family feast in Kennel Keep with merriment aplenty. Yeah, things got even more lively thanks to a few ringleaders, my good sister Alana, my good son Royce, and my granddaughter Bethany. Royce kicked things off by calling for the musicians to play something lively, and when he began to dance, the other two quickly joined in. They pulled other members of the family onto the floor one by one, and before I knew it, the entire hall was swept up into joyous revelry. Alana stood on one of the tables, calling on me to demonstrate my dancing skills, and I'll admit I did exactly that, much to everyone's delight. By the time the evening drew to a close, we were all exhausted, but pleasantly so, as this will be a night nobody in the family is likely to soon forget. Very nice. Good times, dude. That's awesome. Jeremy Mallister and Bethany Hasting are now married. Good for them. In a matrilineal marriage, of course. Donald Hasting, my albino grandchild, love that for myself, He can be married. Yeah, it's only letting us search within our top realm, which does not make sense. So I think we're gonna leave it for now. Oh my god, my children. Sir Bastion Hastings is trying to murder my maester. Bastion, please. Come on, dude. Alright, Bastion Hastings and Lady Serena Tully can now be wed. We can host a grand wedding of our own. I think that would be interesting. I think that would be really, really cool, actually, to see. So let's go ahead and knock that out. A grand wedding. That'll help put us on the good side of the Tullys of the Trident. So, yeah. We have 341 gold. Let's plan this wedding. It's going to cost 200 right off the bat. We'll do it in Houndwood, our capital. 90 here, 90 here, and 180. So we need 385. We have 340. So let's quit this activity planning. On his way. Nice. My son is on his way back. Highly prepared heir. He's got 3-star education trait so far. I have 3 years to fulfill this promise, so let's just bide our time and raise our money real quick. Oh my god. Yeah, the Riverlands is just erupting into warfare right now. Yeah, House Byrne of Raven's March. Yeah, war against the tyranny of Lord Brendan. It's okay. It looks like everybody's rising up against these rebels, so Raventree will surely be fine. Or be fine. So, not too worried there. Schema discovered. Sorella Rain. Yeah. So much murder and intrigue in my court. I hate it. Alright. We have enough money now. Let's go to Houndwood. I don't need the mercenary guards, because I'm not the one who's traveling. But we'll max out this grand wedding for my nephew. It's going to cost us 385. We have 390. Let's get this shit done, boys. Quite satisfied. My granddaughter Elena has been asking me for a sculptural for a long time. She responded that she was fine with her current dedication to her studies, reward or not. She can get content, fickle, or trusting. I think content is okay. Gives her +2 to learning. If we gave her fickle, gives her +2 to diplomacy, which is going to help out her education trait, and then trusting also +2 to diplomacy. So, -2 to stewardship, though. I'd rather give her trusting instead of content. So, nice. The grand wedding. I now have a new diplomacy perk as well, which is grand. So I set my intent to matchmaking. So at this grand wedding, we're going to also try and find a suitable match for Sir Donald of House Hasting. Hopefully that works out in our favor when all the guests begin to arrive. Yeah, the spouses Bastion and Serena are both here, looking radiant in their best attire. It's my signal everyone will get into position and the ceremony will begin. I can't wait. I'm enjoying the ceremony, proud of what I managed to organize. Everything has gone well so far, and as soon as I think it, I know I've jinxed it. Serena freezes in confusion, having clearly forgotten what the next step of the ceremony is. Yeah. 85%, I can still salvage the situation. I did in fact do it. Good. Good. Nice. Meanwhile, Sir Davin the Starved Hound and Jocasta Kenning have had their first child. Let's give her a good Riverlander name. Jonquil Hasting. That's a good name. An unusual pursuit. I'm wandering through the courtyard when I spot a couple of children play fighting with wooden swords. One of them deftly disarms the other, and with a start I recognize her. It is my great-granddaughter, Rayella. She must have already seen me because she immediately bolts over. Did you see that? I won. I'm going to be a warrior when I grow up, like Visenya and Nymeria. I love that. She's our very own Arya Stark, huh? Yeah. Well then, show me what else you've learned. Her prowess increases by 2. Nice. She has 4 prowess as an 8-year-old. That's pretty impressive. Dang, what happened to Serena? She's all scarred up. Holy shit. She's seen some battle or something. Alright, the ceremony has finally reached its climax, the traditional rituals have been completed, and all that's left is the final vows, the formal consent, the seal on the marriage. As both Bastion and Serena say "I do," the crowd starts cheering and we all stand witness to the beginning of their life together. How exciting. The wedding banquet starts. With all the formalities behind us, it is now time to celebrate. I signal for the servants to bring out the food and drinks and to shepherd the guests to the feast venue. Nice. You can talk up Donald's good qualities. Oh my gosh. No, let's praise the happy couple. That's fine. Dude, everybody's trying to murder my maester. What is going on, man? He's a rational nihilist. Let him study his books and his scrolls. Please. Oh, no. Bethany Hastings. No, my granddaughter. She trips, knocks a torch from a neighbor's hand, and sets her own clothes aflame. Burn, 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 everyone for themselves. That's awful. Alright, 71%. I managed to do something and help her. I saved Bethany. Alright, good. Good. I saved my granddaughter. Province of Gaiman's Tower. Aw, what? He left my court? Where did he go? Oh, he became a vassal? How did that happen? Aw, he was granted titles. Aw, the Blackfires. That's crazy. Where's Gaiman's Tower at? Oh, all the way off in Dragonstone? Holy shit. They just built a new castle. Gaiman's Tower. It's a barony title. I guess. Shit. That's cool. Good for them. That sucks though. He was part of my court. I was trying to get, you know, make allies and everything. That sucks. Whatever, dude. That's a shame. Oh my god. Lady Inferior has risen up against King Aegon V of the Seven Kingdoms in the Liberty War. I'm not getting involved, dude. I need y'all to leave me the hell out of this. Oh, great heavens. Alright, thank you all for coming. Everybody leave. Everybody leave my lands, please, I beg of thee. Calling you to honor or alliance. Disloyal to me during the war, minus 40%. Oh my god. Oh, whoops, that was not intentional. My counselor left, that's so sad. Sir Davin can be our new counselor, so that's pretty cool. There we go. Studious youth. So now we're another step further in the dynasty legacy of kin. Alright, alright. Alright, I'm gonna join the rebels against the Iron Throne. That's quite unfortunate. We're gonna raise our armies in Brandstone, and rather than have my brother command the armies, I shall lead myself. But before we do that, let's take a look at our arsenal and see if we can't switch up what we have. Yeah, we can go back to the Riverlander armor, but I'd rather have something that actually has our house colors on it. The Westerman armor is just going to completely overhaul it, which isn't quite what I want. The Crownlander armor is probably the best neutral option. If we went for the Stormlanders... Yeah, ooh, that's interesting. It actually looks kind of good. But considering the legacy that we've left currently as Lord Dalton, this doesn't look like the armor that Lord Dalton himself would wear. So, what about like Valeman armor? Nope. Northman armor. This one's pretty good. So it's still kind of like that neutral look, but it has like the fur cloak, which I like considering that we are the faith of the old and the new gods. And then it's got like Ned Stark's plate armor with like his cool painted tabard and everything. So I think this is going to be what we have for our arsenal for now. Obviously, depending on who becomes the next lord of these lands, his arsenal might change depending on his or her, lifestyle and everything like that. The Northerners are coming down with 25,000 men. We have 6,000 men to our name. We're going to get absolutely shit on. I think our best bet is if we just started to take some of these smaller provinces. Hopefully we can get there without getting intercepted by enemies. But if we start going for, yeah, minor lands, chances are they're still going to come after us in force. The Tullys are getting smacked down at Middleton. Yeah. Oy. My grandson, Lawrence, is knighted. That's good. Good for him. Yeah, the Targaryen forces came down and smacked us, for sure. But they have 61,000 men in this doom stack, which is unfortunate. Whoops. The Lure of Vendetta. No! Bastion died! He was slain in battle by Shadrick Baratheon. Sir Shadrick. Courtier of Lord Oren. Oh my god. Start a feud against House Baratheon? Oh, shit. My nephew. I can't believe this. Ah, look what I have wrought. Ah, damn it. He was blinded in that battle. Dude, I'm getting the hell out of this war. I am leaving. Can I surrender, please? I cannot. What I can do, however, is send all of my men home. Brother, I'm so upset. I was hoping by leading this army myself, we might actually die a glorious death in battle. But what we actually wrought was the death of my nephew. He was set to inherit the lands of Branstone. But now that's not going to happen. I'm sending my men home. I knew better than to try and join this mega war for glory. Because it's exactly why we stayed out of the war efforts in the past. Because it just means that our children will die for our hubris. That's so upsetting, dude. Can't believe this. Sir Dalton Hastings. What happened to his spouse? Oh, she died in childbirth? No, Jarrell Sillinger, she died. Now he's melancholic for no fucking reason. Aye. Alright. So since my son, or my grandson's spouse died in childbirth, I think we're going to remarry him to Gwyn Banefort. She doesn't have, like, the best traits. She doesn't have anything congenital either. I don't like that she has an intrigue focus. Damn it. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, there's a few options. There's Melena Redwyn, but again, she's got, like, sadistic and arrogant. That's not something I want for my child. There's Katrin Dane, who's of noble blood, but she has lazy as a trait, which is horrendous. There's Petra Dustin, who's got some decent traits. She's a bit of, like, a scholarly warrior, but she has the albino trait, which I don't really mind, but it's not something that I want to infect my bloodline with. That sounds awful. There's Osmera Selmy. She's 13, but she's getting a diplomacy focus. She already has 10 diplomacy, stubborn and honest. So I think that'll be a pretty handsome match. Yeah. Yeah, we'll make that happen. Meanwhile, Donald Hastings is still struggling to find love, basically. We'll set him up with Alice Clayton. Albino, beautiful, and spindly. Isn't that some shit? It's not perfect. He's my third-born grandson. So, nice. Dalton and Osmera are now wed. That is grand. Oh, I've been imprisoned by King Aemon. Yeah, we lost the war, led by the foolish, clueless Lady Impheria. Oy. She's been released. That's great. Love that for myself. We can escape from prison. King Aegon V, the stuttering fool. Can I demand a trial? I can demand a trial by combat. Let's see what happens, lads. Oh, a new child of my dynasty. Oh, Sir Bastion. He was slain in battle by Shadrich Baratheon. I'm glad I didn't try and have, like, a family feud with the Baratheons. I would much rather have them on my side. It's a simple fact that there was no animosity. It's just they met on opposite sides of the battlefield, and my nephew was overdone. And the only reason my nephew was out there in the first place was because of my foolishness. So I have no one to blame but myself. But it seems that he and his wife, Lady Serena Tully, have had a child, Cosgrove Hasting. I'm actually going to name him after Bastion himself. So he is now Bastion, son of Bastion. Now I shall fight as my own champion. I'm fighting against Sir Elric Shells of the Kingsguard. So either I die here and atone for my own sins in this foolish war, or I slay a member of the Kingsguard, which is fucking badass. Anyway, I am brought in chains to the designated spot near the Red Keep in good time and find King Aegon is already waiting for me. Along with a small entourage of witnesses, he has chosen Elric as his champion. As I will be fighting on my own behalf, I am unchained and given a weapon and armor. The formalities are brief. We all know why we are here, and we are long past the point of talking. May the best man win. Yeah, for a few brief moments, Elric and I pace in lazy half-circles, each watching for an opening. I heft my howling, ready to defend myself, while he clutches his Elric Shell's sword firmly to hand. Only one of us is walking away from here today, and I intend it to be me. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Elric is famed for his abilities with a sword, and he reminds me of this with a perfect flowing chain of quick slashes, punctuated by the occasional terrifying, powerful cleave. Yikes. Strike, parry, and riposte! I leap into action, launching a flurry of quick slashes, driving myself hard against Elric's guard, wearing him down with each expertly timed strike. Elric pulls back from my every blow, letting me attack without getting another solid hit in. It's not long before I can feel myself begin to tire. My form is good with only small errors, and Elric's stance is incredible. My opponent is still holding off my blows well, but he seems close to faltering. Interesting. Yeah, taste the wrath of the warrior. Sword in hand, I rain quick slashes down on Elric, leaving him no quarter between blows. Elric is famed for his abilities. Yeah, my form is good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we'll strike, parry, riposte again. Unexpectedly, Elric manages to swing a vicious kick for my shin, momentarily hobbling me. Foolish bastard. Yeah, a blow from my sword and a kick to the gut. Oh my god, I did it. I slew a member of the King's Guard. Determined to see my opponent toppled, I throw my entire weight into a powerful cleave that sends him reeling, following with a vicious kick. The dual strike shreds Elric's guard, and I am able to first disarm him with a quick slash, then transition swiftly into a lethal chest shot that gouges a bloody wedge straight through his heart. There are slower deaths to be had. I like that we made it quick for him. Goodbye, Elric. Yeah. Yeah. In sight of gods and men, I have earned my freedom. Justice is served. Nice. I am now a free man. Oi, isn't that some shit, dude? That was crazy. Yeah, I have no words. In all my attempts to try and get Lord Dalton to die a glorious death, we've failed at everything. My son, Lord Horace, has been quarreling with his nephew, Walder, for days. Just now I can overhear them arguing in the next room. How can a swain like you believe you are the ideal manifestation of Hasting family virtues? I am clearly far more deserving of that distinction than you are. Yeah. No fighting in the family. As I walk into the room, Horace turns to face me. I am glad you are here, Dalton. Won't you please talk some sense into your grandson, Walder? He's being completely unreasonable. Yeah, you were both acting like petulant children. Or I'm clearly the best Hasting around. Yeah, petulant children indeed. Nice. Alright, so Bethany Hasting and Sir Jeremy Mallister have had their first child, a daughter that we will name after Jeremy's mother, Gwenlyn. So Gwenlyn Hasting now joins the family. Oh no, sir. Lord Horace of Hasting, Lord of the Rivulets, has fallen ill. He has pneumonia. Damn, dude. That is tough. Lyman Hasting is growing up in the image of his father. That's interesting. I love that for him. Good kid. No, Elena Hastings. She has consumption. Damn, dude. What is going on with my family? They're getting sick right now. There's a curse in the blood. As I walk through the town, rage overcomes me once again. The only thing on my mind recently is when I was imprisoned by King Aegon. Must get my revenge on Aegon somehow. I look up at the gallows in front of me. Perhaps if I make my moves carefully, he will hang there soon. Start a murder scheme. No, I'm gonna try and forget. That's odd. No, Tyrion Hastings is sick as well. He has pneumonia. What the hell is going on? Oh my god, there's a curse. I'm paying for the death of my nephew at the hands of my own folly.